Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Streaming Without a Paddle. I'm Andrew.
And I am Ted.
Well, we got a weird one that we watched this last week, and it's kind of off of not your mainstream streaming service. We dug deep on this for you all. That's what we do.
For the people.
Yeah. And we actually, and you can download the Roku app onto your streaming device even if you don't have a Roku. They have their own streaming service, apparently, kind of like Hulu and all the others. And this is a Roku original called Weird. The Weird Al Yankovic story. Is that right? The story?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to begin by saying, all right, first, it's starring Daniel Radcliffe.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. That's right. And so that's what made me think on the front end that this was an actual biopic. I mean, they got Daniel Radcliffe to play Weird Al Yankovic, which we'll get into that later. But I was wrong because as the opening credits were rolling, it came to my attention that this was a Funny or Die production, and I know when Funny or Die is behind something, it's not real. It's not real. And if this is real, wow, good for you, Weird Al.
Yeah, if this is real, Weird Al rock.
I mean, you're my hero.
I actually, in the middle of this movie, I'm going to say it, I enjoyed this movie. I don't know if it's a good movie, but I enjoyed it.
I did. I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I thought he was great when he... Basically, it's more if Weird Al was a rock star. Like a real deal polka rock star. And Michael Jackson stole Beat It from his song Eat It. Because Eat It was him going legit. Him writing legit song. Which is the funniest thing. Every time he's like ripping a cig or snorting coke or drinking whiskey, I'm like, Weird Al would never do that.
Well, I finished the movie, and again, I enjoyed this because it was just absolutely funny or die ridiculous. I mean, it really, really was. And I looked at this in the concept of, all right, here we have Weird Al Yankovic, a guy who parodied other people's songs. Came in, took the beat, and reworked the lyrics, okay? So I kind of looked at it from the standpoint of we took the beat of Weird Al's life and rewrote the lyrics to his life story.
For sure.
I mean, so it is, and I'm sure somebody, if somebody at Funny or Die looks at this or listens to this broadcast, they'll go, that's exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to parody Weird Al's life. So I'm taking everything that happened in the movie in reverse. You know, where there were mean moments. I could be wrong, but I don't think that he and Madonna actually had a physical relationship. So if it happened in the movie, it's just the opposite of what happened.
Yeah, I think his I went down a Wikipedia rabbit hole of the real Weird Al and after the movie. And I think his parents are actually incredibly supportive. In this, his dad is like, you're not going to play polka in my house.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's so many good cameos in this thing. Jack Black as Wolfman Jack.
Yeah.
He was great.
Conan O'Brien was a great Andy Warhol.
He really was.
I mean, so there's no spoilers in this movie. We can talk freely. This is one of those movies I think we can talk freely about. Because there's no real plot to it.
Nope.
There's no storyline to give it away because it's completely, I guess, I'm guessing here, but it's completely fictitious. So, but anyway, so we're just going to lay it out for you because no matter what we say, I think you should still watch it.
Oh, yeah.
And get a good laugh out of it. So... And I think by our telling you what happens in the story, it's just going to be little nuggets to make you want to tune in. Like, well, you know, they just, who was the drug cartel guy? I can't believe it. I watched
Oh.
the Narco series 100,000 times. It'll come to me in a minute. But anyway, there's nothing that we can say other than this reviewing this movie that's going to blow it for you.
No, it's if you like Weird Al, you will find this movie entertaining. It is funny, and I hate parody movies. I hate Naked Gun. I hate all that just stuff. It's so just not my thing. But for some reason, this really worked for me. Like, there's a scene in which he is challenged to do a parody on the spot by Wolfman Jack, and just that scene alone when he just starts jamming out and just busts. What is it? Another One Bites the Dust.
Another One Bites the Dust because
the Queen
supposedly,
bassist.
yeah, right, yeah. Sinus medicine here. Thought process is gone. But yeah, there's this party that's just so celebrity filled, it's not even funny. Which that I found that very much entertaining for the fact that you're sitting there and you're watching this, and you're looking at these celebrities that are playing celebrities, and you're trying to match it up. Like Conan O'Brien was Andy Warhol. Not Brian Mays. He wasn't the Queen guy. Anyway,
The Queen guy.
Jack Black,
David Del, whatever his name is, that's in
played Wolfman Jack, and
the weird guy. I think the basis for Queen. His name is David Del. I can't pronounce his last name. Del Smushin.
could be.
He's in a bunch of those James Gunn movies.
Oh, you're talking about the actor playing the bassist of Queen. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and from The Office,
Dr. Wilson. He was great.
Yeah, Dr. Demento.
Gave him a PCP, was it?
Yeah,
You're about to go on a trip.
it was absolutely hysterical. And again, I went into this thinking this was going to be a real weird Al Yankovic biopic played by Daniel Radcliffe, which, by the way, kudos to Daniel.
He's great.
He really is. He really, really is. And he pulls off comedy well.
He was great as the villain, the comedic villain in that Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum movie. Did you see that?
I did.
He was great.
I did see that, but I don't think the movie was that great. But he was good in it.
It was like a rom-com adventure. It was fine.
It was money.
Yeah, I mean,
It was a paycheck.
I wasn't upset about watching it.
No, I wasn't either. But I mean, it was like I have zero tolerance to watch that again. But anyway, no, it was funny. So here's again. It's the fictitious biopic of Weird Al Yankovic's life, and
his relationship with Madonna.
And yeah, right up to the point he dies in 1985. So if you were even if you followed along and you thought this was, oh my gosh, his real life, the spoiler comes at the end in 1985 when he's assassinated at an award show. Mm-hmm. It's the life Weird Al probably wanted.
And the real Weird Al is in it as a record executive.
Yes.
Not just for a second. He's in a good chunk of it.
Yeah. No,
Him and Will Forte.
Love Will Forte.
Will Forte is in everything.
And he should be, because he is really funny.
He is. He's also, they made this series not to steer away from this, but Sweet Tooth.
Didn't see it. Okay.
It's like a fantasy thing about where this disease comes out and kills a bunch of people, but it makes these little kids into hybrid animal children. Uh-huh. And when it all goes down, he grabs one that this doctor gives him, and it's a little, like a deer boy, and he raises it as his own son. But, like, he's not funny. He's, like, protecting it, and he's really good. Like, he's a good dramatic actor.
What's the name of this again?
It's called Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth.
It's on Netflix.
Oh, I'm guessing it's a Netflix original.
It came out during the pandemic. Robert Downey Jr. Produced it, his company.
Oh.
It was really good, but I think it's really expensive, so I don't know that they're going to do a second series. It's a comic book.
Huh. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, you should.
I do. I like Will Forte, and I think he is just absolutely, comedic timing wise, absolutely amazing. So, but anyway, back to the Weird Al Yankovic story here on Roku. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie from start to finish. I did. It was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
It was absurd, absurdly funny, and there was nothing I didn't like about it. And the way that they play the seriousness of stuff, like, the accordion, the playing of the accordion.
I was about to say, the accordion.
Polka parties. Now, I'll have to confide with my wife about this since she's from the Midwest, but I don't think there was in high school polka parties. I didn't even attend a high school guitar party in the South or fiddle party. So that might be the only real thing in this movie, that polka parties actually existed for high schoolers in the Midwest.
You know where Weird Al's from?
No.
Right outside Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, Linville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That is.
I never would have thought that. Why would you get into polka?
No, I don't know either.
Thomas Lennon, great cameo as the polka salesman.
Yeah.
I love him from Reno 911.
That was brutally funny. Yeah. And I am not punning there when I say that.
No.
Well, I am actually, because it was brutal.
It was every cameo is as good as you would think it could be.
Yeah.
And whoever the girl playing Madonna is, she's great. I don't know who she is. Evan Woods. No, it wasn't.
Yes, it is.
That's Evan Rachel Wood?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
I knew she looked familiar,
yeah. Well, I had to Google to find out the cast on this.
That is good. That is good hair and makeup.
Because there were just so many stars in it. Again, I was cross-referencing who I was watching at this Dr. Demento pool party.
Yeah.
Jack Black and Conan O'Brien, they were pretty obvious. And so I was going back and looking at the names. And then, of course, she's second bill on this thing. And I was no freaking way.
That's her. I didn't. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I love her. She's a great actress.
Yeah. And you know what? She was way more attractive as Madonna than Madonna. Even
you
back
said
in
it. I didn't say
big day. Back in the
you said it. Listen, ladies that listen to this podcast, I did not say that.
And guys too. I mean, if you just need some eye candy, because she's in like 70% of the movie.
Yeah, the whole movie is about that.
She is, yeah. And she's a knockout.
She's really pretty.
Yeah, it made me long for the 80s.
Westworld. That's why I didn't. She just doesn't look the same at all.
Sorry, Madonna, if you're listening. Evan Rachel Woods plays you better than you in the 80s.
That's true.
Because she was way hotter. Way hotter.
Well, now I'm gonna go. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't catch that.
Yeah. Oh, no, that became the game for me, is trying to pick out the celebrities playing celebrities in this movie. Oh, I think he's going to beat me up trying to think who the drug cartel guy was. And he's not only, yeah, I don't have my.
I do.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's a fun movie. It's just full of laughs. Daniel Radcliffe playing Weird Al. The funniest thing about that for me, him playing Weird Al, is he took that role, and you can tell he took that role so seriously, where everybody else seems to be having fun with their character. Daniel Radcliffe was so serious about being funny, about being Weird Al, that he comes off funny. How about that?
But I think, as you know, again, I'm not a comedian, but I am done a good deal of comedic acting. I think that, like Eastbound and Down, and like these series, the more serious you take the stakes, the funnier it is, all the stuff happening around you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Because Kenny Powers, if you watch Eastbound and Down, is a pretty tragic dude, but he's and he's offensive and awful and self-important, but everything is so serious that it like, yeah, I believe it because that's how it happened.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do.
Well, Lost City was the movie with Sandra Bullock
Yeah.
and Tatum. And again, in that movie, he was so serious, he was funny.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it's a one dimension thing when he's doing comedy, because it was, I picked that up having watched The Lost City prior to watching this movie, obviously. And he brought that same, what was the Catch Me If You Can?
Oh,
2.
yeah,
He was in that.
He's the
son.
Yeah.
He plays the son in that. And he, again, that character was seriously funny in that movie. I mean, it was just like, it was to a fault how serious he was. And that made it kind of funny to me, even though Catch Me If You Can 2 wasn't a comedy.
Running to see that one.
Yeah.
Did Catch Me If You Can? Is it Catch Me If You Can, or is it a magic movie? You're talking about the magic movie,
yeah.
right?
What?
If Now You See Me. Now You See Me.
Now you see me. Now you see me.
It is a super forgettable movie.
Well, I like the first one.
It didn't merit a second one.
I don't know. I wasn't longing, if I remember correctly, for a part 2 to that. But
Yeah.
Was that Amy Adams is in that, and
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, Jesse
Woody
Eisenberg,
Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson,
And the other. I was just trying to think of Franco.
Yeah.
Dave Franco.
Right. So I thought it was a good movie, and I thought the sequel was not as good as the original. But anyway, back to weird. It is weird, and it's funny, and yeah, I did, and I love the inclusion of the storyline with Pablo Escobar. Being a big narc.
Huge fan. Pablo Escobar's a huge Weird Al fan.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yes, to the extent that I'm not going to give that away.
Don't give any of that away.
No, but he wants him to come to his birthday party. I'll say that. And but anyway, off topic a little bit, Roku. As a streaming service, did you have a chance to go and just kind of scroll through and see what they have?
I didn't. I just went basically and looked up weird.
Oh, okay. I was really impressed and it's free. There's no monthly charge for Roku.
You just got to watch a commercial.
You just got to watch. It's like over-the-air TV, But I was really impressed of the lineup that they had with movies and TV shows that they had, and of course they're doing originals, and this was their first original, I believe. I read that, and it was pretty good first original out of the box for them.
I honestly, I give this movie a real strong B. I really enjoyed it.
I did too,
and I like.
Listen to this. We're actually agreeing on something here,
and I think that
this is a must watch for you people.
If you like comedy, it's a must watch.
Yeah,
but I would say, just to steer off, I wanted people to know that I thought that about this movie. All the performances are wonderful. Obviously, they're all great actors. I think it's funny that basically we're going back to having cable without having cable. Oh, I just stream. Yeah, well, I've got 27 streaming services, even the free ones. Freevee, Tubi.
Yeah.
And Tubi's got good stuff. They don't have original. Well, no, they do have original.
They do have original.
They have
I just watched one.
They have like the Sci-Fi Channel original kind of stuff, but it's like we all still have cable. They're just in little boxes.
Well, yeah, we carry them around in our pockets, and but
it's funny though. It's kind of like I was talking to my dad about this, who's 76, and I was like, Celestial Radio died, but it's really just podcast now. Like, that's radio.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Advertisements just moved over there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's obviously having an effect on networks, traditional, even cable networks. I just read where AMC, they're cutting back over there. Subscription services are down, and they had a tremendous loss last year in ad revenue to their programming. So, I mean, the one of the programming heads over there just got acts. So it's having an effect.
I mean,
But that's why we're doing this, guys, is streaming your viewing pleasure is now a real thing. And the content is just, as two people who sit here and kind of monitor what's coming out, it's really amazing the amount of content that is, I can't keep up with it. I mean, it's ridiculous.
it's crazy. I have a movie that just came out that I was in called Chest on Tubi. It just came out like 3 days ago, and like already I had the people like reviewing it, and I'm like, it's this little independent horror movie that's super cool. If you like found footage, please go watch it. I'm not pitching my own stuff on here, but go watch it. But like, just to see that like there's so much stuff coming out all the time that like we're already getting people doing online little video reviews about it, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And it's like you can't keep up.
No,
Like-
and that's the name of this show, Streaming Without a Paddle, because we're playing off of the Up the Creek Without a Paddle, not knowing where you're going and all that. We want to help you guys out doing this. But it is. I am flabbergasted. And it's now that it's fall, it's traditional new series release or new movie release time because everybody's, held up in their houses because it's cold outside. The amount of material that is just being dropped at this time is unbelievable.
Yeah, and there's not to get too biz-y, but I'm gonna say a biz thing. There's also no more pilot season. I mean, maybe there kind of is, but that's not a thing anymore.
Right.
Most of the stuff is like they just make a pilot. Most of the stuff just goes.
It's just a constant mill.
Yeah, because there's such a need for content, and there's so much content coming out. There's great television shows I see all the time that like I had no idea about.
Yeah.
Or like somebody will tell me, "Oh, have you seen Dave?" And I'm like, "Oh, I haven't." And I watch all of it, and I'm like, "This is hilarious." You just don't know about it because there's so much.
And we're here to help point them out to you, the good stuff, the bad stuff, steer you in the right direction so you don't waste your time.
Go away from the monsters, but go towards weird.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, you got to. It's a fun movie. I don't think I'd have the kids watch it, but over 13.
Yeah,
that's at least back in my day, a 13-year-old could handle that.
13. I definitely saw people doing fake cocaine and drinking when I was 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no big deal.
Yeah. So, but there is just tremendous amount of content, and pulling out from Roku here, one of their originals. But anyway, yeah, I enjoyed it. I was thoroughly amused. Laughed a lot. Daniel Craig did a great job.
Daniel Radcliffe. You said Daniel Craig.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, James Bond would have been equally great as.
Well, I've got Daniel Craig on my mind because I've been reading and hearing, and I'm building up anticipation of watching his sequel to Knives Out.
Great movie.
Yeah. Oh, you've already seen?
No. It is the first one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Knives Out was amazing, and the sequel's out now. But anyway, Daniel Radcliffe did a great job. And I was surprised by his comedy. Mm-hmm. I really, really was. Here's something I found very funny. Weird Al Yankovic is like 6'1". I mean, he's a tall guy.
Yeah.
All right. Daniel Radcliffe is like 5'3", 5'4". I mean,
It seemed that way.
he's a real, which I found repetitively funny throughout watching the movie, when it would kind of become obvious that he was so small, because you would go, wait a minute, I grew up with Weird Al, and this guy's like a giant. And here they've got one of the smallest actors out there playing Weird Al Yankovic, a tall guy. So I kind of took that as a joke. I took that as like a running joke throughout the movie. That's the reason, besides talent, that it'd be funny. I could see that in a casting meeting. Oh my God, Radcliffe would be great for this. And on top of that, he's just the opposite.
I had no clue he was that short.
Oh yeah, he comparatively he's very small.
Some of those
very
kid
small.
actors that play kids forever just stop growing at 14.
Acting stunts your growth. It's scientifically proven. I'm pretty sure.
It must. There's not a lot of real tall actors.
There's got to be some writing somewhere in a vault. But yeah,
I am 6'1", and I would say I'm in the top 10%.
You're too tall for TV.
Too tall for TV.
I'm
fine for movies, but I'm too tall for TV.
I mean, unless they're doing like even wrestlers are small.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of worked with a wrestling organization, and
they're like 5'10".
They're just there were really. I mean, there are giants. There's no question, and that's what makes them look so big. Is the rest of the wrestlers, they're average height.
I did a wrestling documentary like 12 years ago, and I was walking around backstage, and I'm not some giant. I'm like 6'1", 205. And
you were a giant.
Well, they were just like, "You gonna do the run in?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "I'm not a wrestler. I did real wrestling, not WWE. I did like high school wrestling. I don't have any clue about any of this. I'm just interviewing people."
Yeah. But, no, he's Daniel Radcliffe is not a very tall individual, but Weird Al Yankovic is like over 6 foot tall.
He's large in talent.
He is. There's no question. And he's done a great job shaking that Harry Potter image, that he had.
Yeah, he's.
I mean, I think he came out right away and did a play, and he's.
Oh, Warhorse.
Was naked in it, so it was just like boom. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Harry's gone. Erase. So anyway, but no, and Evan Rachel Woods was fabulous in it. And again, easy on the eyes, guys.
Mm-hmm.
No, I did. I laughed. I laughed a lot. Not necessarily out loud and loud,
mm-hmm.
but inside, I always had a smile on my face. And every corner that they turned there had its punch, and I laughed, and they delivered, and it was great. It really was.
I agree. Direction was great.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the script. It's overall, it's really great. I would watch it again. I probably will watch it.
Again. Yeah, I will too. That's
And now I'm going to go.
It's not a Roadhouse. It's not like every time Roadhouse comes on TV, you're going to watch it.
Well, not every movie did they rip a man's throat out.
So, I mean, but it is hey, I can watch that again. That would be, one of those once a year. Oh, yeah, there you go. It's weird.
So I give this, like, out of 4 paddles, I give it 3.5. I'm
going to agree with 3.5 paddles on that. Of course, I like the using the numbers because everybody seems to use numbers. So I'm going to give this an 88. I'm out of 100, an 88.
Okay. Our tomato meter.
Right.
I'm right there with you. I'm going to say I can't think of anything they really could have done better. So I'm going to say 90.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it.
And here's the thing, guys. I mean, we're sitting here talking about it, and we might be building it up in your mind. This is a good movie. This is a good movie, but have zero expectations. Don't go into this movie if you're kind of a movie buff thinking that this is going to be something super special by any means.
No, it's just a good, funny movie.
It's just,
honestly, they don't make comedies anymore, so go watch a comedy.
Yeah, it's good to laugh. That's yes. But like I said, I started into this think this was a biopic on Weird Al. I came into, this is going to be serious. This is going to be, we're going to see the inside and the outside. Because, we're coming on the heels of Elton John and Queen. They had those biopics. And a huge fan of the Beatles documentary on Disney Plus there. And so I kind of had that thought process in my head when this popped up. And but that was quickly diminished, and I went full circle, and I was okay with laughing on it.
Yeah,
it completely diminished my thought process and my anticipation of it being a serious. Oh my God, Weird Al Yankovic had a really rough time getting through the music business, and was it nasty to him? And yeah, it's not. If that's what you're going in there, you're not going to find any of it out. I mean, it was a pretty smooth ride for him.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going by this picture, he got to hang out with a lot of really cool people. He dated Madonna, and he shut down one of the largest cartels in Mexico. I mean,
he did everything.
Wow. Al, what a life you've had. I'm sorry you died in 1985. But I'm beginning to think that's more like Elvis. You know, he's not really,
he's alive.
He's not really dead. No. Weird Al's. Yeah,
that's for the sequel.
He is. He's still out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't make a sequel.
He and Elvis are eating hamburgers and playing accordion somewhere. Cheeseburgers. Oh, cheeseburger. Anyway, all right, check it out. It's on Roku. Free app. You don't have to actually have a Roku device. Just download the app. Watch it. That's all I can say. Be thoroughly amused. It's not a long movie. It went by quick, and it might seem that way. I didn't get a runtime on this one.
I think it's like 88 minutes.
It's perfect.
88 or 90. I had to take a little NyQuil because clearly you guys can hear that I was getting sick.
We're both suffering from sinus here. Yeah. But, yeah. So, anyway, Roku, watch it. Daniel Radcliffe is great in it. The cast is funny as all get out. It's a great spoof.
Yep.
That's the word I've been looking for this whole time. Thank you, Sinus Medicine, for blocking up my mind. I couldn't come up with the silly word spoof. There it is. And I've already forgot the name of the drug lord in Mexico.
Pablo
Escobar. And which, by the way, that's an incredible series. I believe that's on Amazon Prime, Narcos. You have to watch that about Pablo Escobar. All right. Well, till next week, guys. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ted.